Okay, so now potentially we're recording so that our friends who can't be here at this time can just take the class whenever they want. Okay, so I just muted all of you, which would mean that at least theoretically now you just see me on your screen instead of everybody. So last week we did intro to second, but we did it with capo, and this week we're going to do it with Tittibhasana, which is an arm balance, a hip opener, a hamstring thing, a low back thing. And it's just like capo, whereas like right now it's, let's see, 10. At this moment, I cannot imagine that my body would get into that pose. Just doesn't seem possible. I'm stiff from, sleeping, activities, whatever, but in an hour or so we'll feel very differently. So part of the Ashtanga tradition is just taking things one step at a time. So we don't even really have to concern ourselves with how we'll ever get into Tittibhasana. We're just going to start somewhere and take it one piece at a time. So I'm going to flip my thingy around, and you guys are muted, but yell out if you have questions or if my cat messes up the camera again like she did last week. Okay, so let's come to the top of the mat. Hi, are you gonna stay here? Okay, I'm just gonna pick up this little thing and I'm gonna give her a kiss and I'm gonna tell her to get her little butt somewhere else. Okay. So I'm just gonna face you guys for a moment, but you can just keep facing the top of your mat. And let's just inhale with hands together. And exhale. And again, inhale. When you exhale, lower your arms by your sides. And we'll reach up for steeple mudra. Inhale. Interlace the fingers, let the pointed finger go off, and exhale over to one side, just to stretch through the side bodies. Inhale as tall as you can through center. Exhale over to the other side. We'll just do this one more time each side. See if you can keep your belly drawing in, because we'll have to do a lot of core strength today in order to keep the low back happy. And the next inhale, we just come through center, and let's lower the arms. Exhale. Feet together if they're not already. Inhale, reach up. Palms touch. Exhale, fold forward. You can bend the knees if you want, touch the floor. Inhale, halfway up. And let's just step into plank for a moment. Straight arms, straight legs, and see if you can reach your tailbone toward your heels. Belly up, so there's no sagging in the hips. Take one more inhale here. And your exhale, keep that body shape, just bend the elbows. And inhale to lower the hips, shoulders up. Exhale, downward dog. And we'll stay here for 5 breaths and concentrate on the belly drawing in and up, which it will do on its own if you do nothing, but you can exaggerate it a little bit. Wiggle around however you need. That's 4. And 5. After your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale there at the top of the mat. Exhale to fold. Let's inhale again. Then bend the knees as you exhale. Get your chest on your thighs. Drop the head and start to roll up, keeping your knees bent so that you feel your belly draw in and articulate your back for you. Eventually standing head up, legs straight. Inhale again, reach up. Exhale to fold forward. Halfway up for the inhale. And we'll come to plank again. I'm going to try not to crush my little girl, but she left. And she got scared of my feet. So we'll stay here again. So keep feeling a lift. So we're not sagging the hips when we come into chaturanga. On your exhale, bend the elbows. Then drop the hips, inhale, chest up, and exhale to downward dog. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. After your exhale, step or jump. Inhale there. Exhale to fold. Inhale again, just to fingertips. And as you fold, bend the knees like you would Utkatasana. And then we'll keep the knees bent and we'll just roll up. Heavy arms, heavy head, strong core. Eventually, you're standing. Again, reach up. Last time for just a normal Surya Namaskar A. Holding on the exhale. Inhale, prepare to plank. We'll keep an extra breath here, so I guess it's not actually a normal Surya A, because this normally would not be a holding plank situation. But make sure you can keep the hips up as you bend the elbows. Then drop the hips, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Roll the shoulders away from your ears. But when you do that, don't let the pointer finger get light or the thumb get light. You have to keep your forearms rolling in. 2 opposite actions. That's 4. And 5. After your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale there at the top. Exhale to fold. Halfway up, inhale. Again, bend the knees like you would Utkatasana and just start to roll up. Try to keep the head heavy until that last moment and we're standing. We'll bend into the knees, Utkatasana, inhale. And fold, melt the chest into the thighs, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. We're just gonna step left foot back. So we wind up in a lunge with the right foot in front. On your inhale, straighten the right leg. You can drop the head if you want. Exhale to bend, just find the lunge again. 2 more times like that. See if you can concentrate on your back leg staying straight. It's tempting to bend the back leg whenever you bend the front leg, but try not to do that just yet. And from that lunge position, inhale, back foot forward, chest forward, and fold, exhale, head to legs. Halfway up, inhale, and send the right foot back, just a simple lunge, other side. We'll straighten that left leg, inhale, bend it, exhale. 2 more times, inhale, straight, exhale, bend. 1 more time, inhale, and exhale. Back foot forward, inhale, chest forward, and drop the head to shins, exhale. Bend into the knees, Utkatasana, inhale. Samasthitihi, exhale. Bend into the knees, Utkatasana, inhale. And fold forward, exhale. Halfway up for the inhale. And this time to chaturanga for your exhale, jumping or stepping back. Inhale to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Right foot forward, we'll just come onto fingertips. We'll straighten that right leg on your inhale, just like you did before. Exhale to bend the knee again. Simple twist. Left hand flat, right arm up. Inhale. Untwist, exhale. Again, straighten the leg, inhale. Bend the leg, exhale. Simple twist, inhale. Untwist, exhale. To plank for the inhale. To chaturanga for the exhale. Upward facing, inhale. And downward facing, exhale. Left foot steps forward. Line up your lunge, take your time, and when you're ready, inhale to straighten the leg. Exhale to bend. Simple twist, inhale. Keep pushing to the ball of your left foot, untwist. One more time, inhale straight. Exhale, bend. Simple twist, inhale. Untwist, exhale. To plank for the inhale. To chaturanga for the exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. That's 1. Try to get the heels close to the floor. 2. That doesn't mean I have to touch. 3. But keep your legs straight. 4. And 5. After your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale to straight legs. Exhale to fold. Bend into the knees. Utkatasana, inhale. Samasthiti, legs straight, exhale. I'm just going to back up a little bit so that when we come into Bakasana, my hands will still land on the mat. So, bend into the knees, inhale. And we'll fold forward. We'll place the hands about 12 inches in front of the toes, knees to upper arms, point the toes, lean forward, heels up. Stay here for 3 breaths. Think of rounding your back, arms working towards straight. And on your next exhale, jump it back. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Right foot forward, either high lunge or warrior 1, whichever suits you. That's the inhale. Exhale to chaturanga. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Left foot forward. Whatever you did with your back foot on the other side, do that. And exhale, hands down, all the way to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. After your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale there. Exhale to fold. Bend into the knees. Inhale. And just samasthiti. Exhale. We're going to, again, do that Bakasana thing. But before we do, hands to the lower thighs. And just arch on your inhale. And round on your exhale. And just do this a few times on your breath. As big or as little as you want. Okay, we'll make our way back to neutral. So this next Bakasana, we're going to play with flattening the back and bending the elbows. And a lot of you have done this with me in normal classes where we're all in the same room. So those of you who know the deal, just go ahead and start. Those of you who have not seen this before, you're going to work towards straighter arms rounded back, and then you're going to kind of squat yourself down and let the elbows bend more like chaturanga, and your back will be flatter. And you just kind of go back and forth between those 2 places. And you'll notice when your arms go straighter, your back automatically rounds, your legs work a little differently. And whenever you're ready, jump it back, move through your vinyasa. And we'll meet in downward dog. I'll just give you an extra second to get there. And let's all bring the right foot forward. Warrior 1, inhale. And let's just bring the hands to the hips for the exhale. Lift the back heel. So now it's just a lunge, very simple. We're going to keep squeezing the thighs together. So you feel like this right hip moves back. And lower your back knee eventually to Anjaneyasana. And keep squeezing the legs so even when you're in full Anjaneyasana, this right hip moves back. chest up. One more breath here. We'll return to our high lunge just by squeezing the thighs together. Eventually the back leg will get straight again. And reach up for an inhale. And lower the hands, chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Left foot forward. Warrior one, inhale. And hands to the hips. You can feel the right hip come forward a little bit as soon as you lift that right heel. And we're going to keep letting that right hip move forward. The left hip move back as we slowly lower to Anjaneyasana. You can keep your back toes tucked or let them go for now. 2 more breaths. And slowly start to straighten your back leg again. We wind up in a lunge, arms up, inhale, and hands to the floor. Step into chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing, into downward facing. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to keep our legs straight here. 5. Walk your hands back toward your feet. You'll start to feel more weight in your heels. Tittibhasana. Slide your hands underneath your feet. Inhale. Belly in, fold, exhale. 1. Think about your upper back muscles. 2. That will help you get more space by your neck. 3. So that your shoulder blades can defy gravity. 4. And 5. We'll bring our hands to the floor again. Your heels are already on the floor. Your legs are strong. Walk to downward dog, but try to keep your legs where they are and how they are. It may or may not work. When you get to full dog, your heels might pop up a little bit, but just try. Next, inhale, heels up high for preparation. Exhale, bend the knees and lightly jump feet to hands. Inhale, straight legs. Fold, exhale. Bend into the knees. Utkatasana, inhale. And straighten the legs, Samastitihi. So we'll just step back with the right foot, pivot on the feet. For triangle pose, reach out with the right arm as far as you can, and then lower the hand, left arm up. We'll take just 3 breaths here. We'll come back to triangle in a little bit. For right now, just work on getting that right hip to open. The next inhale, we'll rise up, and we're just going to pivot on the feet for the other side. We exhale as far out as we can and lower the hand. So there's a lot we can do with arms and torso here, but every pose starts with the floor. So your feet pressing down, your toes spreading, and that energy travels up the leg, get that left hip to tuck under. Next inhale, we'll rise up, pivot on the feet, exhale out and down, triangle round 2. This time that top arm, we're going to rotate so it faces sort of the crown of the head, the back edge of the mat, and then extend the arm over the ear. As you do that, reach through your fingers, push down into your left foot a little bit extra. So you stretch the waist on the top side. Next inhale, we'll rise up and pivot around, exhale out and down. That right shoulder has to rotate first, and then you can extend the arm over the ear. It's the same arm that you'd have in a Parsvakonasana. The hip and waist stretch might be a little more exaggerated here. Next inhale, we'll rise up, pivot on the feet. Last version of triangle, we'll reach out and down. This time that top arm will come behind the back for the inner thigh. And get that shoulder to roll back. Tittibhasana is also a lot of shoulders. So if you have tight shoulders, that might be the limiting factor for you. But there's like 4 things that have to kind of all cooperate at once. So it's hard to even know what is the limiting factor. Let's slowly rise up, inhale, and pivot. We exhale out and down. So we just approach from all sides, and hopefully it all cooperates. The gaze can be up over your right shoulder, or if that hurts, just look straight ahead. Keep tucking that left hip under, just like we did in the first variation. And we'll rise up on an inhale. Hands to the hips. Pivot so the feet face the long edge of the mat. Inhale, chest up. And we'll fold forward, exhale. Inhale there, straight arms, legs straight, fold, exhale. 1. This is Tittibhasana A. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Straighten the arms for an inhale. We're going to walk to the right and find Ashtanga, which you've already done a few times. We'll untuck the back toes this time. The back knee on the floor, hands to the right thigh or knee, chest up. And now we're just addressing this left hip flexor. Take 2 more breaths. Let's lower the fingertips down. You might need to scoot your left knee back a little bit, maybe not. We're going to straighten the right leg, and we want this left thigh roughly parallel to the ground. So just pause here for a moment. This is a half split. You can let your head come to your leg if you want. Try to engage your right thigh. And we'll bend into the knee just enough so we can tap dance the foot to the left edge of the mat. And once it's there, we're going to re-straighten, flex the foot, and then from the hip, spiral the toes in. So the pinky toe edge of the foot starts to get toward the ground. For some of you, it will touch the ground. You'll feel it through your right outer thigh, a T-band. You can again drop your head down. You can do whatever you want with your hands. It should feel a little bit uncomfortable in that outer right leg, especially if you're a runner or a biker. Okay, so we'll start to dance that foot toward a normal Anjane again, normal 1. And let's just lift the back knee and walk around to the other side, Anjaneyasana. Untuck the right toes, hands to the left knee, and just drop the hips as low as you can. This is going to help with our splits. Okay, we'll turn it into a half split. Adjust your back knee as needed. Take a few breaths here, just normal straight on. Keep that right, the left quads strong. And we'll rise up and dance that foot over to the right edge of the mat. Flex the foot and swivel from the hip. So there should be no weird ankle stuff going on. The ankle's just the same as when the leg faced up. But when the hip swivels, the foot will swivel accordingly. And just go as low as you can. This side I go significantly less than I did on the other, but it feels pretty good. 2 more breaths. And we'll bring the foot to normal again. Dance it however you can. Find your Anjaneyasana. And then lift the back knee. We're going to quarter turn to the side and just find Samakanasana. So the hands are down. The feet will walk apart as far as they want. Remember, we're never going 100% in yoga. Go 75-ish. There's no reason to push too hard. When you want, if you want, walk the hands back so that your forearms touch your inner thighs. And then just slide your butt to the ground so you end up with your legs wide. We'll just bring the hands to prayer for a moment. If you're keeping your weight on your hands, then just be there. Don't worry about the prayer. If you are in prayer, then flip it around so your knuckles face in and start to drop your elbows so you end up with a nice wrist stretch. One more breath. And we're all going to make our way to our feet again. So if you're on your butt, you're going to lean forward, press into your hand, and then walk your feet in until you feel a nice amount of weight on the feet. So you're in that Prasarita stance. Hands to the hips, inhale up. Let's pivot the right toes to face the side, bend into the knee, warrior two. Either stay here, or your right arm is going to come up and over like you would Gomukhasana, and your left arm will come behind the back so you can link your fingers. We're going to try to press the head into the arm a little bit so that we don't end up kind of rounded and crunched. Space in the throat. And remember, the legs are still just warrior two. So if this arm situation has distracted you from the legs, then just eliminate it. Let's release the arms to normal warrior two and just travel over to the other side. Because the pose is still built from the bottom up. So once you're established, if you want, now it's left arm up and over, the elbow will face up. The right arm, the shoulder's going to roll forward so that your right knuckles can touch between your shoulder blades. And you reassess. How are the shoulders doing on this side? Can you still stay in a warrior two leg situation? Can your low belly still lift up? Can you still breathe? And let's slowly unravel warrior two arms and straighten the left leg, pivot around, Parshvakonasana, potentially with a bind. So if you don't want to bind, you can just have your right hand, big toe side of your foot. If you do want to bind, your left arm will come behind the back, your right arm will go under. And you'll hold the left wrist with the right hand. Eventually. Maybe today, or next year, or next lifetime. That is out of your control. We'll unbind, but we'll stay here with this relationship between right shoulder and right inner knee. Just lower to the palms and lower to the back knee. So we're going to keep that right shoulder wedged by that right knee. Either stay here, or some of you can come to the elbows. And then you'll notice that your shoulder is even closer to the ground than your knee. Take two more breaths and try to keep that leg hugging into the body. It's tempting to let it sort of fly away to the right, but fight that urge. It's going to help you in Tittibhasana. And we'll come to straight arms. We'll just lift the back knee and pivot around to the other side, Parshvakonasana. So that would be entering it from the bottom. If that's unusual for you and you need to come up first, reset something, feel free. No big deal. So that right arm can come behind the back. That left shoulder is going to get by the inner knee so that you have all your arm to work with. It does help to have long arms, but if you don't, the logistics are going to be even more important. You just have to make whatever you have as helpful to you as possible. So your left shoulder is already by your inner knee, We'll just lower the hands, lift the back heel so the hips square to the front edge of the mat and lower the back knee. So it's pretty much an Anjaneyasana. Maybe you come to the elbows, lizard, and don't let that left leg fly away. So you keep pressing into the ball of the foot. You keep scissoring the legs like you did in the very beginning lunges. And we'll rise to the palms. We'll lift the back knee. And let's quarter turn so again we face the long edge of the mat. And we'll find our Samukhanasana round 2. So the legs as far apart as you can. Once you don't want to get them any further from this position, press into your heels and get the toes up, kneecaps up. Then it's a whole lot easier to walk the hands back and slide to your butt. Just another breath or 2. If you're on your butt, it is nice to sometimes roll the thighs open with your hands. Feels good. Okay, so we'll all come to the butt, however you want to get there, and we're going to bring the legs in more narrowly. I'm going to have my butt off the mat just so the heels can be on the mat. You can negotiate that however you want. We're going to reach for the outer edges of the feet. Inhale, chest forward, and exhale to fold forward any amount. While you're folding, try not to let your feet fall in. So your hands are on the edges of the feet. You can actually push the foot into the hands so that the kneecaps still face up. And you just come as low as you can. Take one more breath. And we'll rise up. And let's just wiggle the legs in. My girl wants to make an appearance. She said, I'm cute. Look at me. Okay, we're going to bring our right foot in. First, just anywhere to the center. Just hang out here for a second, try to sit up. Then we're going to put the foot in the left elbow crease and push it across the body. So now the knee kind of came in line more with the ribs. So the shin bone is across us. I'm going to face the front of my mat so that you can see the back is a little bit long. It's tempting to be kind of squished here, but try to press back and think of it as the shoulders moving back, because that is what is going to be your Tittibhasana. There is a chest lift situation, but it's really going to feel like shoulders pushing back. Let's bring the right foot to the left inner thigh. A little twist over that left leg. I will fold over the leg, attempt to hold the foot. You can grip under the foot if you want. This is Janushirasana A. Pretend you're trying to touch your left foot with your right armpit. And we'll slowly rise up, and we're just going to straighten the right leg and do this on the other side. So the left foot, first just bend it in and kind of play with where it wants to go. And then we'll start to harness it a little bit, putting it in the elbow. If that's too far away, you can still do this holding just the ankle or the shin. You can still get to the same location. It's actually easier if you get it in the elbow. It just requires less muscling. So shoulders back. You can even play with what that is by going in and out of it. Then you'll know when you're in it. It feels very different. One more breath. And we'll bring the foot to the right thigh, Janushirasana A. It's a little twist over the right leg, and then we fold. And even when we're in the full pose, there's still that little twist element. You can either drop your head to your shin or your chin to your shin. And let's slowly rise up. We'll just cross the ankles, rock forward, and take your vinyasa. From plank, we just exhale. And we inhale to the back bend, and we exhale to downward dog. Let's bring the right foot forward between the hands. We'll lower the back heel for now. I'm going to give you a choice in a few moments to lift it again or not. It's more stable for now if you have it down. So the right arm's going to come inside of the foot. Then we're going to dip the chest down and try to get the shoulder under the knee. So I have this calf muscle in the way. So what I'm going to do is straighten the right leg, turn to the left a little bit, inhale, and then as I dive the shoulder under, I'll rebend the knee. It just gets it a little bit cleaner. The fingers can either stay down like this, they can reach out like wings, or you can bind around your back. If you are bound, actually in any of the positions, concentrate on that right shoulder pushing into the leg. Any of the positions, you can work on that. If your left knee is experiencing any tenderness with the heel down, just lift the heel up. Otherwise, you can keep the heel down for stability. Take one more breath here. And we'll unravel and lower the back knee to the ground. We'll start to scooch the back knee a little further back. And at some point, it won't want to go. We'll pause there. We'll walk the hands back a little bit so they're under the hips. And then we'll start to scooch the right foot forward. Any amount. Very slowly, making wise choices. One of the great things about practicing in your living room by yourself is that nobody knows what you're doing. So you'll be less likely to want to imitate the person on the mat next to you, or to get sort of wrapped up in the energy of the room or the ego of the room. There's something cute at the top of my mat. I don't know if you guys can see that. She has a tennis ball. It's about as big as her head. And she likes to attack it. Okay, so we'll start to bring that foot in again. And we'll come back to that one we were in before, where the back heel is down and the right shoulder is underneath the knee. And you could also use your right thumb on the calf muscle to help you get the shoulder under there. Then we'll put the knee down again. We'll come to the forearms and we'll attempt again to go toward something like our split, so that we're sort of crunched down to the floor. You can have your arms straight out to the side. You'll just feel like you're a little bit more squished, and it's a little more important to push your shoulder into your knee. In the lunge, you kind of didn't have to. You could get away without it, but now you'll really feel the importance of pushing into the leg with the shoulder, and that's something that you need for Tittibhasana. So we'll slowly come on out of that, and let's just vinyasa. We'll take a few breaths to rest in downward dog. Okay, left foot will step forward, right heel down. So the legs are like warrior two, and we'll start to bring our left shoulder under. So what I did on the other side, I don't know if this angle will be any different. I just walked out to the long edge of the mat, so it's more like a triangle for a sec. And then as I exhale, the knee bends and the shoulder sort of dives underneath. And you take your time to negotiate that relationship between knee and shoulder. And you decide what you want your arms to do. Whatever they're doing, you're going to press your shoulder up into your leg. And now, since the last pose you did was that intense one where you had to push, now you see kind of how easy this is in comparison, how you can still sort of be in this pose without doing that. In Tittibhasana, you pretty much have to push shoulder into leg. Okay, so we'll unwind the arms, lower the back knee. We'll start to walk the right knee back. When it won't go anymore, you can walk the left foot forward. Prop up however you need to. Sometimes blocks under hands is nice. Block under the front thigh is nice. Okay, we'll start to drag the feet in a little bit closer again so that we can negotiate that left shoulder under the knee. So you'll want to back your butt up a little bit so that you can slide that shoulder under. And then when you're ready, you can find your Hanumanasana, something that resembles Hanumanasana. Now I have a tennis ball on my mat, but no cats. They've moved on to something else. Okay, so that shoulder's pushing into the leg. Take one more breath. And we'll slowly rise up out of that. Vinyasa, we'll meet in downward dog. Let's come through to sitting. Marichyasana A, which is really great for low back, the rounding situation. So we're going to pull a heel in close to the sitting bone. There's about 5 inches here between foot and leg. You're going to reach as far forward as you can. I'll face this way, so that your ribs come inside of your leg. Then you're going to wrap around your leg and bind near your right hip. You can fold over that left leg. 1, 2, belly in. 3, 4, and 5. We'll rise up. Let's take the bind away and reset the arm on the leg. So whether you were bound or not, this next thing is going to be fine. We're redoing it. So we're going to try to get our armpit sort of in front of the shin, however close you can get it. Then the hands are going to come back a little bit so that that foot can lift off the ground. Then we'll lift the butt and the left leg, and we're going to push the armpit into the shin bone. One more breath, and let it go. Side 2. Marichyasana A, left foot close to your butt, 5 inches here between thigh and foot. Reach as far out as you can. You can even hold the right leg to get you set. And wrap around the left leg. 1, 2, belly in. 3, 4, and 5. We'll slowly rise up, undo whatever you had with your arms so that you can redo it. I'm just going to face this way this time. So we're just trying to push the arm into somewhere on the leg. So reach out and around. Then your hand is going to be what helps keep it together. So if your hand landed out here, there's no way to keep wedged. So hand is going to come back, sort of in line with your heel, and then the foot lifts up, no problem. Right hand comes down, butt comes up, leg comes up because your thigh is really strong. And then come on down, vinyasa, or don't, and we'll meet on our butts again very soon. So if you vinyasa'd, come through. If you didn't, you're already there. We're going to bring the right leg again to that baby cradle thing that you did before. This time we're going to attempt a half lotus. If a half lotus is not for you, just put the foot by the thigh like you did before. And we're going to fold over the leg. Those of you in a half lotus, your right arm is going to come behind your back to grab your toe. If your half lotus is high enough on your left thigh, the toe will be right there, ready to be grabbed. And the half lotus will help, the heel is going to dig into your belly and help stretch the low back. Let's rise up. We're going to keep whatever you have with your right leg, just lean over to the right side and find your virasana with your left leg so that the knees are as wide as your mat. Bharadwajasana. So we'll slide the left hand underneath the right knee, and the right hand will again come around to hold the toes. I'm going to show the back view because it might be weird. And your left leg, if this virasana is not working for you, just have it straight. We're trying to get that left hip down. And slowly unravel. Pigeon, right leg in front. And we'll do whatever form of downward facing pigeon suits you. So last week when we were doing capo things, back bend things, we had our shoulders over our hips. But for this week, a downward facing pigeon would serve you very well. It might help you get your chest closer to your shin, might help you get your calf a little bit more parallel to the top of the mat, which is a little bit more reminiscent of foot behind the head type of stuff. Okay, we'll rise up and vinyasa. We'll jump through to sitting for side two. It all started with another baby cradle, the left leg this time. As you're coming into half lotus, if you can bring your heel to your belly button, your foot will be right in the hip crease. For many, many years, my foot was swooshing into the quads. It doesn't feel great, but it's sort of the inevitable until one day it clears. So this is Ardha Baddha Padma Paschimottanasana. We fold forward any amount. And we'll turn it into Bharadwajasana. We'll rise up. We'll rock to the left so that we can deal with this right leg. We'll either bend it back or it can just be straight. But you're going to get your knees about mat's width. The left arm will come behind the back. The right arm will go under the left knee. And we twist left. And we'll slowly untwist, turn it into pigeon. The left leg will just come forward. You could rock to that left hip again so that the right leg can swing back easily. We're not letting that left ankle do anything crazy. We're keeping the pinky toe side of the foot pressing into the floor. Just like in that earlier version of your Upavishta Konasana, you were pushing your foot into your hands in order to control the ankle. So here you just push into the floor to control the ankle. Okay, vinyasa. Step to plank. Exhale to chaturanga. Inhale, the back bend is a counter. Exhale, downward dog. So let's bring our hands back a little bit closer to our feet so they're not quite at the top of the mat. We're going to jump our feet around the hands so they land in front. So it's a very awkward little squat situation. And we're going to wedge our shoulders a little bit underneath, and we're going to have a seat on our butt. We could do a better job of wedging our shoulders under, but for right now, it doesn't matter. We're going to let our feet come down, the hands out to the side. Some of you might stop right here. This is already a big deal for your back. When you can, you're going to let your heels slide forward, and we'll enter Kurmasana. The legs sliding forward are going to bring your shoulders to the ground. We call this pancake asana also, for obvious reasons. So just go as low as you can. We did a lot of hamstring prep, so it's possible that that element is now okay, and now you're dealing with your back. And we'll start bringing the heels in again. You're going to wake up your hamstring muscles a lot, and bend your elbows and just slide out of there and sit up. We'll bring the legs out in front. Okay, just for a moment, right leg out to the side. Basically to hang out and give you a little break. Sundial is coming up next for two reasons. To get the legs straight and to figure out this shoulder pushing back. So our left hand is going to reach to the pinky toe side of the right foot. And we're going to try to wedge our shoulder underneath the knee, just like you did in that lunge earlier. Then the hand has to come back. Then we'll start to kick the foot into the hands, and we'll get the leg as straight as possible. For right now, concentrate also on that right shoulder pushing into the leg. Take a breath wherever you are. We're going to keep our right leg exactly wherever it is, but slip your left hand away and bring your left hand down to the mat near your left hip. Lean forward just a smidge, get your butt off the ground, keep your right leg where it is, and then lift your left leg up. Sort of like what we did before on our playing exit from Marichyasana A. And then let it come down. So that right leg was sort of responsible for itself being straight. Your hand was not helping. Your hand won't be helping in Tittibhasana either. So let's hang out for a sec with the left leg, just sort of dangling over the edge of the mat. Just opening the hip a bit. Then the right hand will hold pinky toe side of the foot, and we'll start to get that shoulder under the knee. The thumb can go on the calf muscle. That left hand will come down either close to the hip. Sometimes people do it with their arms straight. Doesn't really matter for right now. You just need it to be back far enough that your thigh doesn't slide forward. So keep your left toes reaching up. Just slip your right hand away from there. And just see, does the leg stay up on its own? It doesn't matter really how straight it gets. Just let it go where it can. And lean forward a little bit so you can get your butt off the ground. And then get your right leg off the ground. Keep pushing your shoulder, your left shoulder, into your left leg. And then lower your butt down. Let it go. And vinyasa. Take your time. You just take a little peek at the clock. Okay. Yay. So far, so good. All right. So we're going to try that jumping forward business again, where I'll face the same way I did before in case it messes with your guys' computers and where you have them set up. So we're going to jump our feet around our hands so they land in front. And we're going to lift the right heel, bring the right hand to the calf muscle, and take an extra minute to wiggle that shoulder further under
the knee. Then the right fingers come down for stability. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. Left heel up, left thumb to the calf muscle, roll the calf muscle in toward your ear and try to get your left shoulder under the left knee. Hands are going to come down behind the feet. We're going to lean into the arms, let our heels come up, eventually let the feet come up. You might stay right here or start to straighten the legs. You're going to push your shoulders into the legs. Your butt is down, your feet are up. The exit from here is Bakasana. So remember when we did the alternating straight arm, bent arm? This Bakasana won't be very pretty. You just kind of makeshift it and jump it back into Vinyasa when you can. We'll meet in downward dog. We will get to try that again, don't worry. Not the second though. Soon. Let's come through to sitting. We're going to bring the right leg across the left. And if you can, bend the left leg. This is a great hip stretch for that right side. We're going to roll the thigh flesh of that right leg in and hook left arm outside of right leg. You can either stay here or reach for the right foot. Look back over the right shoulder. Either stay there or right arm behind the back. Find your left thigh. Okay, slowly unravel. Double pigeon, right leg on top. Left foot comes forward a little bit, feet are flexed. Right knee comes onto left ankle. Hands wherever you want, lean forward. Okay, we'll rise up out of there. Before we do that on the other side, let's squat. So that we just have our weight on our feet. Life is easy here. If you have knee issues, just be up here. You don't have to have your butt close to your feet. This is just going to help us transition in a moment. And it opens the hips. And for Ashley, the Achilles. Okay, Ekapada Bakasana B. So the hands will come down. I'm just going to back up a little bit because I'm not sure how far forward you can see on the screen. So the left foot's going to stay. The right foot's going to move forward of the hands. Very odd at first. The right shoulder is going to come under the knee, like you did in your Tittibhasana. The left knee is going to go on the left arm, like you would Bakasana. And we'll sit on the arms. Scooch that right foot forward until it cannot go any more forward on the mat and it lifts into the air. So one leg is Tittibhasana, one leg is Bakasana. The exit is Bakasana. So that right leg is going to bend and jump back. Move through the rest of your vinyasa. Don't get stuck on your belly. And we'll come through to sitting. For all of it on the other side, starting with Ardha Matsyendrasana. So left foot outside of the right knee. Right leg bends if you can. And you twist. Take your time to negotiate thigh flesh, arm flesh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We slowly unravel, turn it into double pigeon. Shin bones roughly line up. Chest leans forward. Hands anywhere you want them to be. Okay, and we'll start to come on up. And we'll return to that squat. And you'll notice that you have to be pretty comfy in Bakasana in order to do these ridiculous things that sort of stem from and go back to there. So if Bakasana is not your jam, just work on that. Otherwise, the left foot is going to come forward so that you can do this on the other side. So that right heel is going to lift in order to place your right knee. Your left shoulder is going to wedge under your left knee. And you'll start to scooch left foot forward until it eventually lifts. You're leaning forward. You're gazing forward. And you'll continue to gaze forward as you find your Bakasana and as you jump to Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, you gaze down the nose. Exhale to downward facing dog. And let's come through to sitting. This time we're going to lay down, and there'll be some choices. Ashley, grab a strap, and some others of you, if you want to put your foot behind your head, grab a strap if you're not used to doing it. I'll show you a way that's kind of not a cheat. It's like a helpful little assist. So let's start with our right ankle on our lower left thigh. Reach through, hold your left shin, and just pull all of it closer. Notice that your shoulders are still on the ground. Your head is on the ground. There's no problem there. Even when we mess with other leg situations, we're going to still try for head and shoulders down. They're not going to go necessarily, but you're going to reach them that way. So let's extend the left leg along the mat. The left elbow is going to bend around the ankle, and the right arm will come behind the head. I'm going to spin this way so that you can maybe see. So it's not around the foot, it's around the ankle. And then again, we're going to try to get head and shoulders down. It's quite difficult. Either stay there in either of those two things we just did, or you're going to put your foot behind your head. Those of you who have trouble keeping it there, it's a lot of wiggling the shoulder forward. Once you get it back there, if the problem is just keeping it, you can wrap the strap around your ankle. And then I like to use the right hand to pull the strap down and then get the left arm on top of it. Then the left arm can take over and the strap is kind of stuck in the left armpit. But for the strap to be useful, the foot has to go back there in the first place. The strap is not to yank the foot back there. It's only to help keep it back there. Let's slowly unwind. And let's rock and roll up to sitting. Vinyasa before we do side two. Because that was a lot of forward bending. And let's come through. Lay back. Starting with thread the needle, left ankle to the lower right thigh. Interlace the fingers on the right shin and pull it in. Shoulders back, head back. Okay, keeping the foot close, the right leg will extend out. The right elbow will come around the left ankle. Hands interlace or whatever you want to do. Head down, shoulders down as much as you can, or start to find your foot behind the head. So to do that, you have to pretty much be able to keep yourself in the head with your heel. And then it's a matter of getting your knee far enough back, your shoulder forward, So there's a lot of walking around. Like I do a little bit shoulder, and then I kind of pull the foot closer to the right shoulder, and then get the left shoulder forward. So it's a bit of a dance. And then if it's back there and it's having trouble, then find a way to wedge that strap under your right armpit. And that becomes more important, the whole aspect of keeping the foot back there. When you're in a sitting position, it's a lot harder. Laying back position, it's a little easier, so it's good to practice it first like this until you're used to it. And we'll slowly get out of there and vinyasa. Okay. Let's come through to sitting. I'm just keeping my eye on the clock sometimes. Okay. So we'll try that sundial thing again, but this time with a bind. Sounds weird, but we'll get through. So that right leg is gonna again come on the shoulder. The left hand can help get your leg up, but then the leg is gonna stay on its own. We're gonna slip the left hand away and attempt to bind behind our back. So the right toes, you could point them. You're pushing your right shoulder into your leg. One more breath here. And slowly unravel yourself. Okay, before we do that on the other side, we're going to try another thing where we lift the leg off the ground. This right leg is going to be stuck. The left leg will be free. So we're going to put that the right leg on the shoulder again. Either you're going to keep it here and just have it clamp on, or put your foot behind your head. Your choice. And then we're going to have our hands come down, same distance they would downward dog. Point the toes, butt up, leg up. And then slowly come on down. So that just helps train sort of everything, shoulders back, body up. Let's vinyasa before we do the other side. And we'll come through to sitting for sundial with a bind. I'm just going to face this way. This is helpful for Tittibhasana B, which we'll do right after this. So that left leg is up as far as it will go. We'll slip the right hand away and bind. Whether the leg is straight or not, it's kind of irrelevant. I mean, full pose it is straight, but as long as your shoulder is pushing into your thigh, you can be in the pose. Let's slowly get out of there. Take a moment. And then we'll bring the leg again on top of the shoulder. Those of you going for foot behind the head, take your time. Kind of knee back. Then the foot moves toward the right shoulder. Take your time. We'll meet in downward dog. So whenever you think you're ready, hands come down, butt comes up, leg comes up. Stay as long as you want. And then take your exit. We'll meet in down dog after the vinyasa. Okay. So let's go for Tittibhasana B. So I'm going to face this way because the exciting part is behind the back. So we lift the heels one at a time and we get our shoulders under the knees, which you did before. So just do that again. And then when you can, bind around your back. So here's where it's very shouldery. If your hands can't touch, use a strap. It does help to bend the knees while you're getting into the position. And then we take 5 breaths in the position with the legs moving towards straight. Really, Tittibhasana fatigues the quads. There's a lot of flexibility required, but when it's done, the thighs are so tired. One more breath. We'll keep the relationship between shoulders and knees. Just release your grip. Hands under the heels, or behind the heels, I should say. We're going to take A position, which is also E position, just like you did before. But now that your shoulders are further under, it's possible that your legs get a little bit straighter. Then into Tittibhasana, lean forward, bend the knees. I can't jump back because the wall is there, but jump it back if you can. And Vinyasa. Rest for a moment. Breath back to normal. So you know if you needed a strap or not. If you needed one but did not have one handy, just go get one. It can even be a dish towel or a cat toy. Okay, so we're going to try it again, but this time walking forward and back. C position. So we'll jump our feet around our hands, just like you've been doing. I'm going to back up because I know it walks forward. So let your feet for now be in the middle of your mat because you'll need 5 steps forward and then you'll return. So starting the same way, right heel up, shoulder underneath. Then right heel down, left heel up, shoulder underneath. And do that as many times as you need to. And maybe you just worked on that today. God knows I worked on that for probably 4 years. And then we take the arms around. So this is B. Normally we would have gone right from B to C, but I don't want to tire you out too much and it might need more explanation. So we'll walk forward, right foot, then left foot, right foot, left foot. That's 2 steps, right, left, that's 3, right, left, that's 4, right, left, that's 5. Now we back up, and then we back up again. That's 2. We back up again. That's 3, right, left, that's 4, right, left, that's 5. Keep your knees squeezing into your shoulders. Place the hands behind your heels. Bend your elbows, thighs on the upper arms. Shift the weight into your hands. Start to straighten legs, Tittibhasana. A or E, it's the same. Shift your weight forward, Bakasana exit. I don't know what's behind me, so I'm not going to jump. And then make your way through your vinyasa. It's fun, right? Oh, Lord. We're going to skip the last one because A, it's not that hard, and B, it's not as fun as the rest. Some other day when I see you in the flesh, we can do Tittibhasana D. For now, let's jump through to sitting and bring the soles of the feet together, but sort of far away. So it's a diamond shape. And we'll bring our head to the arches of the feet. And just stay there for a moment. Okay, so we have done a mix of primary and second series poses. I'm going to give you a choice. There's two different ones from primary that would serve us now. One would be Supta Kurmasana, which you already did Kurmasana, also known as Pancake Asana. Or if that's not to your liking, Baddha Konasana, Ashtanga style, feels close to your butt and lean forward, head down. I'm going to talk you through Supta Kurma because it's harder than Baddha Konasana in terms of logistics and other things. So for Supta Kurma, left leg back behind your head. Get your shoulder forward of your knee enough that it could stay there while you then get your right leg back. It's crazy that this is a primary series pose because it's really hard. So once your legs are back, your feet are crossed, flexed, then you come onto your forehead and wrap your arms like you did in Tittibhasana B. And like your arms were when you were walking forward and back in Tittibhasana C. Those of you in Baddha Konasana, rise up and take your vinyasa. Those of you folded, push into your hands, unwrap your arms, push into your hands. Keep your legs back there as you push into your hands and lift your butt. Then your arms are already set for Tittibhasana. You just uncross your legs and straighten them. And then find your Bakasana exit. So from down dog, let's all come to hands and knees for a moment. Straight arms. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, round. One more time. Let's find neutral. Come to the elbows. Measure it out so you know they're not too far or too close. Down dog B. Palms flat, knees up. Push the chest toward the legs. And we've done a lot of shoulders today, but I still feel this in the shoulders. It's slightly different, but that just goes to show that this is never over. You will never arrive. If there's any pose that you want to check off your list, there's still many ways in and out of that pose, many nuances. So you'll never be done. Let's come down to the knees again, and we'll sit in Virasana. But if that is not to your liking, go Anjaneyasana with one leg in front, and then you'll switch. Those of you in Virasana, you're just going to come to your elbows. Even if you can come to the shoulders for right now, just come to the elbows. Lift your hips off the ground, and you'll see, you can actually see with your eyeballs, when you lift your hips, the inside of your knees rises up. Now you can lift your chest up a little more. Keep pressing into your feet. Your thighs might get a little tired. We're only going to take 2 more breaths. Then slowly butt down again. And we'll rise up and we'll meet in down dog B again. If you were in Anjaney and you did not get equal time on both sides, then just take it now while we're in down dog B. You can use this to even yourself out. And from down dog B, straighten the arms. And we'll jump forward with the left leg folded back. So we'll just have our right foot down and the left shin down. Hands back. We'll push into the right foot and into the left shin and into the left toenails. And we're just going to get the hips up as high as we can. You can look forward, you can look up, you can drop the head back. Pelvis forward. And slowly come on down. We'll change legs. So the right leg is like Virasana. And then as we're lifting the hips, it's almost like the right leg is like Lagvadrasana, but the arms are like Purvottanasana. Two more breaths. Try to keep the arms straight, hips up higher, and then slowly come on down. We'll release that right leg, and let's come down onto the back. Tittibhasana. Lift the hips, interlace the fingers underneath your back, and roll a little bit side to side until maybe your palms can touch. Maybe the edge of your hand could get onto the floor. We're going to keep our arms there. Just lower your butt onto your forearms. And you're going to be stuck in this wonderful chest opener. It takes no effort to be here. Just feels good. Let's lift up again. Tittibhasana. This time an option for Urdhva Dhanurasana. Hands are going to go by your shoulders. And you'll lift either to the top of your head or straight arms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those of you in Tittibhasana, you can just lower your butt to your forearms again. Everyone else, come on down to your back. And repeat. Lift up on your inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slowly come on down. Let's bring the knees into the chest. Rock a little bit side to side. And roll to either side so you can sit up. And we'll meet in downward dog. You can vinyasa or not. Let's come down to hands and knees again. Either headstand, Baddha Hasta, Shirsasana A, measure out the elbows, interlace the fingers, or Pincha Mayurasana, measure out the elbows, palms flat. If you're choosing headstand, you could even just be in dolphin, head off the ground. Headstand would be a very straight up and down kind of thing. Pincha Mayurasana would be more of a back bend. So you decide what suits you. If you're going for Pincha, you're going to look forward. Try to calm your breath wherever you are. Stay for about 5 more breaths. And we'll meet in child's pose, however you want to get there. Those of you in Pincha, lately we've been working on your exit. So if you can, chaturanga out of your Pincha. Let's slowly rise up to sitting. Arrange your legs however you want. My hair is probably very wild. Once the foot goes behind the head, this happens. I think it's fun. Okay, so we'll have our legs crossed, however, backs of the hands to the knees, pointer finger and thumb together, other 3 fingers away. Let's drop the chin to the chest, but then lift the chest up. Jalandhara Bandha. Draw the belly in, Lift the pelvic floor up so you have all the bandhas engaged. We'll just try to make your inhales equal to your exhales. So literally count how many seconds it takes you to inhale and make your exhale the same. Keep lengthening the breath until you get to 10 seconds inhales and 10 seconds exhales. Some of you might choose to stay here for Shavasana and keep breathing. If you prefer, let it all go and lay back. Arrange your body in any way that suits you and that takes no effort. Shiva, 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 Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho. Mahadeva, Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho. Mahadeva, Shambho. Take a few more breaths wherever you are. And go through your motions to eventually sit up. And we'll just bring the hands to prayer. Thumbs between the eyebrows, relax all the muscles of your face. And fold forward any amount. Namaste. Thanks, you guys. You're all still muted. And I'm gonna turn off the recording. Hopefully that worked, the recording aspect. Bye, Nadia. And if you want the recording so that you could do it again some other time, then just let me know. I think it's gonna be a link on Zoom. We'll see.
Thank you, Rachel.
Okay, my pleasure. Bye, you guys.
Thanks, Rachel.
Bye.
Kitty.